Hi, this is Mara. This is another reflection on how we interact with sacred spaces, with sacred sites, places where ancestors have been buried, and other ritual sites that I know so many people are really magnetically drawn to these places, and there are many different theories and ways of working with these places, and many different perspectives on how to engage with sacred landscapes like this. For me, I am not an authority on sacred sites, just a woman who has walked these places here in Ireland for many, many years, and also in other lands. And so with experience and with listening and with deep integration of the wisdom that I've met in these places, and also the layers of projected human consciousness, egoic layers that have also been present at these sites, I'm really spurred at the moment to speak to and to continue speaking to how we honour these places on the land. I know for me, when I started engaging with these places, I definitely had ego engaged, thinking that what I was bringing to a place and what I was capable of projecting onto these places was what was needed. And I do see a lot of people doing that, especially in these times where so many people have woken up to engagement with the land, with the natural world, and are really keen to interact with these places and are learning from different sources how to engage with these places. And I think it's really, really important to step back from what you think your ego is projecting as your role in these places, and to really take time to humbly walk these places with non-interference, with humility and with permission, as I spoke to in another video, that we are really walking into layers of consciousness and of ancestral legacy, that we really have to take a permaculture view, a really wide view of really doing nothing and sitting and being with what is already existing in a place, without us inferring, conferring and projecting and injecting our own reality or fantastical layer, which I've also spoken to before, onto a place. It's really sitting with, well, where is that coming from? Yes, I know that the impetus for me was I wanted to be of service to this earth, and I deeply feel the magnetic lines, the geometrics, and the energy that's running through the grid lines of the earth, and I wanted to somehow be of service to that. And I did, even in the best of me going to these places back in the day with humility and grace, there are things that I did or injected into places that I've been unraveling and undoing since then, because it was not my place. And that was a layer of consciousness that I didn't really have permission at the time to do. So I've definitely learnt by many, many slaps on the wrist of how not to engage with these places, what is not welcome, and what creates more confusion and chaos in these ancient and very powerful places. So I suppose that's the first point. You know, there's a lot of great people out there with heart intentions and really good intentions of wanting to help the earth right now and humanity in this time of great shift and of moving through the changes that we are really encountering as a collective consciousness of humanity and the earth herself. And through that, the impetus to go to a sacred place and to inject a trajectory in a place, and to infuse that place with your own agenda, which you may think is coming from a divine place, but I would really check yourself on what you're projecting into a space. even the simplest prayers of activating or opening portals or gateways in these places. I mean, you really don't know what you are interfacing with and how you are going to affect other grid points in a way that may not be in harmony at all with the energetics of land and space and people. So, you know, there are many factors to consider when we go to a place and project our own layer of what should happen in a place and how that should roll out. So just a reminder, yes, great work being done. And I know that many people, they're coming from a place of really wanting to do good. However, I do feel that your own integration of who you are as a being, what you have integrated in your own darkness and your light, and how you carry that and wield your own sword, wield your own inner crystalline grid, that in itself, through simple presence on a land space, can then engage with that land space, and that land space or sacred site or portal and can engage with you. And a dialogue happens without the ego interfering with that dialogue, and letting that dialogue happen with clarity and with non-interference. So maybe holding an intention, an internal intention, without that being a projected intention that is for everybody or for that whole space. Yes, we want to be beacons of peace and of service and all of those things. But we have to integrate the dark and the light in ourselves first and foremost, primarily, and really anchor that into your own cells, into your own crystalline grid. And therefore that exchange can happen with a place. But when one is going with crystals or other intentions to energize, activate, open or awaken a place, when your own inner grid is not balanced or harmonized, I think that's where very real trouble can occur. So yeah, I just feel really strongly to speak to that. I've been watching that dynamic happening, and through my own learned experience as well, wanted to share that perhaps there could be a better way in engaging with these sacred places with much more discernment and a much wider perspective of coming from an integrated self when being on sacred land spaces. Thank you for receiving that. I feel that there is a lot more to be spoken to from these places. And again, it's only my own perspective and sharing that from walking the land. And truly, it's up to everybody to find their way with that. But I do feel like a custodian around certain places, and how important it is not to be using these places as playgrounds for your own transmissions. You know, going into a sacred cairn and talking and bringing through or using and manipulating the energy of a place that you don't really fully understand, and then transmitting that through a video, I just feel is a total disrespect and also a no-no in my opinion. So it's just really thinking about what you're doing when engaging with these places and, you know, leaving no trace behind you. And that means integrating and engaging with the place with no violent interactions of intrusion, you know. Maybe some places will welcome that, and that's different, you know, but it's really, really discerning what is the right thing to do in this place, and what is the way that I wish to be in this place and feel in this place. And leave a beautiful heart energy behind me in this place without the big interference. So, okay, that's all I have to say for today. And thank you so much for listening. If this resonates with you, please like and share your own opinion or experience on walking sacred land spaces. I'd be really keen to hear that. Thank you.